Guys, how are we? I'm back in the car park and I'm sorry about the light. I'm either getting blinded, I'm getting weird patches. I thought I'd show you what I've been up to. I've been trying to finish off projects before starting new ones, and one of the first things I finished I've been working on, has been driving me mad, is the Sockhead cowl. Can you see that? Nope. Let's try that again. And it was done in fingering weight yarn or full play, and it goes on forever and ever and ever. As you can see, let me take this off and totally mess up my hair. This was something I started quite a while back. I haven't weaved in the end yet because I literally just finished it last night. And it is a very long tube. You've got the ribbing on both ends and a very long tube of yarn, which was Elements from Knitting Network. I haven't got a ball band on me. And it seemed to take forever. The trouble I have is when I'm just doing knitting in the round, and I'm literally going round and round and round. If I'm doing it in the evening or at a quiet moment, let me turn that off. Then what then happens is I actually fall asleep, and when I'm still knitting. It's raining. Oh, sorry. So it took a while to finish this. As many of you will know, I'm about to start the Sophie's Universe blanket, and I wanted to get a few things off my needles and hooks before I started that, because I wanted to give it lots of attention. Is that better? And sorry, I'm getting so distracted. There's workmen walking about, it's raining, I don't know what I'm doing, I didn't bring my notebook, and new people driving into the car park. So that was number one of my needles. I'm still working on Stripeset sock by Stephen King. I was coming along, I've done the heel and I'm going down to the foot. I'm kind of enjoying it. The edges are a bit rough. There's a few places where I think I'm going to have to go back and... Where's my camera? I'm going to go have that and maybe sew them in, or neaten them up with a few stitches. Strangely enough, one side is almost perfect and the other side is driving me mad. Sam from Hooks and Needles, by Hooks and Needles, it has frogged her first one, and we both think there's a better way of doing this construction. It's a new heel to me, so I'm also interested in how that comes out. I've been a bit slow on knitting these because the pattern's different to me. It's not something I've done before. I've taken my time to absorb. I've read things, I've absorbed it, I've put them down for a day or two before picking up the next section, because I didn't want to be frogging it, and sometimes my brain can be really slow. So I've taken my time. With the second one, it'll be a lot faster. A few weeks back, I frogged the Harvest Bubble Hat by Angela, the Crazy Poppy Lady. And when she commented on my post, which was really nice of her, I realised I had cast this on again. but I hadn't finished it, so I picked this up earlier on. I'm now on the brim, and it's gone a lot quicker and a lot easier using the right size needles with the right hook. So I cannot escape dog hair. I picked up a different bag to fit everything in, and I think the dog's been led on the bag I had on the floor earlier. I seem to be in a constant state of dog glitter, as I call it. So that's what I'm doing, is I'm going to finish this hat and get this off the hook, and then I will start on finishing off that sock and the toe tonight, and then I think I'll be starting on Sophie's Universe tomorrow. Even though I've got another sock to do, the second sock won't take as much time as the first because I've already done it. So that is my plan for that. I don't know if I mentioned before, I'm sure I did, that I was going to be more mindful of what I was doing, and something I realised that I'm really good at is I will crochet or knit or craft, and I would have an audio book on in the background. Hang on, let me count this. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. And sometimes I get to a new chapter and I realise I don't know how I've got to that part because I'm not actually listening fully. Do you know what I mean? It's like having a telly on in the background. So something I've been more mindful of is enjoying doing things. And then the other week, Shannon from Another Yarn mentioned about doing more complicated things or thinking more back years ago before Ravelry. And patterns hold your hands more these days. 2, 4, 6, 8. And it made me think how much more complicated knitting and crafting I used to do years ago before I discovered YouTube and before I got my hearing back, because if some of you don't know, my hearing is basically due to a cochlear implant these days. But back in the days when I was not hearing and deaf due to various illnesses and complaints, I would sit and I would concentrate on my knitting or my crafting or whatever I was doing. And if I wanted to read a book, I sat and I read a book. The only reason I listened to audio books and got into them was when I had my cochlear implant put in and switched on, and it was one of the things they gave me as a training aid was an audio book on CD and a book. And the idea is you listen to the audio book and you read along. And it's something that I came to really enjoy doing. So I signed up for Audible, not affiliated. I get a credit every month and a new book. And I'm slipping, not single crochet. And I realise that I do miss actually sitting down and reading a book. I used to read every night before bed, and I used to have like 3 or 4. I don't know if anybody else does it who reads. I have 3 or 4 different books on the go. I used to in different places of the house. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And I had no problem keeping up with 3 or 4 different books. It depended where I was and what mood I was in. But even the art of reading had taken a back burner where I was listening to audiobooks or listening to something on the television or YouTube while I was doing something else. And I wasn't 100% submerged into either thing. And that's something I've been doing is, yes, I'm still sometimes listening to, that's awful what I'm saying. I'm still sometimes listening to YouTube. But when I do work on something like my sock or something else, sometimes I set a timer for an hour and I work on just that. And I've actually gone back to reading, or it might be on my Kindle, but just reading and not just listening to a book. And yes, it means I've got less done, but I've actually got more out of it, more understanding or more enjoyment. And there are times when I don't have my phone right by me. It's unusual, but sometimes I've had enough from not other people, but I think we have too much going on in our lives at the moment, or I do. I'm forever doing things for other people, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and forgetting to enjoy things for myself, if that makes sense. So I have been more mindful this week. It has put my productivity, that's a big word today, down. But I have had more enjoyment out of things. I would have posted earlier today, only we went out. Luke and I got a bit cabin fever lately. As I said, we haven't been to Home Bargains for a while, not wildly exciting, I know. And we went for a look round, and do you know what we came out with? Not a lot at all, because we didn't need anything. And then we went for a walk around Marks and Spencer's food hall and looked at the stuff they've got in there for Chinese New Year and their Easter eggs, which may not sound thrilling, but it's something we like to do now and again, is look to see what Easter eggs they've got in. Ever since I discovered years and years back they had a Darth Vader egg. My son and his daughter-in-law are a big Star Wars fan. In fact, anything geeky or worth following they're probably into. I got them into watching Supernatural. And we are sort of a geeky family in that respect. And we do enjoy these things. So ever since I discovered Marks and Spencer's done Darth Vader eggs years ago, for that particular year, we'll go back and check out the eggs now and again just to see what they've got. Seem to be animal based, anything from little puppy dogs and T-Rexes this time. So that's basically all we've been up to. I'm going to carry on and finish the brim on this hat when I'm sat here. I've got a busy evening, but I will be back tomorrow with, well, I'll let you know when I get back tomorrow what I've got. We're going to, so I'm not that good, am I, at crocheting and talking at the same time. Yeah, I will be back tomorrow. I have a full week planned. Maybe I can get a couple of videos filmed on the same day, so I schedule them, then I may not skip a day. But other than that, it's, oh yes, before I go, I meant to post yesterday and didn't. Went for a dog walk with Juno and I put a couple of pictures up, and that's something else I've been really enjoying doing, is taking my time with dog walking, although yesterday was an absolute nightmare. We live in a very rural area and we're very lucky to have some lovely places to go dog walking. Unfortunately, if you go on a Sunday, there's everybody and their dog, and then everybody from around the county seems to come over and walk their dog too. And I was trying to train Juno on a new lead, she's German Shepherd, and she's got she can have quite a pull on her if she wants, and being my balance isn't as good as it could be. Sometimes it's dangerous for me to walk the dog unless I'm walking her on a figure-8 lead, which goes around her muzzle and the back of her head, attaches to her collar, and it doesn't put it over her muzzle, but it does stop her pulling. Well, I decided that now would be the time to get her a training lead that has a handle further down the lead, so I can shorten it. And she did really well. We've been working on, not pulling. I stop, she stops and comes back and stands by me and heels. She's doing really, really well. And she did so well yesterday with all these distractions and all these dogs. But why do people let their dogs off their lead if they can't call them back and they come back? Well, somebody's dog ran up to us, and just sort of sits and waits for them to do what they're doing. And somebody said, "Oh, sorry, she's Jumpy Puppy." Well, she's Jumpy Puppy. Why are you letting her off her lead? And all these little dogs are sort of growling and lunging. And my German Shepherd's just sort of, yeah, right. And yet, sometimes people are scared of my dog because it's a bigger dog. I don't get it. But we did really well. And we saw signs of spring out there. There were a few flowers trying to peek through. And some of the holly bushes had, the yellow, light green yellow leaves when they start growing new leaves. So that was good to see. There's a few photos if I remember to put them up. But it was really nice to get out there yesterday and actually see signs of spring coming. Even if we had to dodge 97.5 dogs. It wasn't that bad. It felt like it though. It was my fault for going out on a Sunday at that time of day. But it took more time to look at the wildlife. I love looking at things like fungus or fungi and seeing it grow in weird places or come up in weird places. I don't know what I've done there. Mr. Stitch. Oh, I missed a stitch about there. Here you go, some music when I'm trying to figure it out. Now I've missed a stitch on the last one. Well, that one was too loose. I must stop doing this, otherwise it's going to go wrong. So yeah, it's been... Where was it? Yeah, the walk was really interesting to see the wildlife starting to adjust and try to get into a new season. The only thing I haven't seen yet, and it's a bit early, but it used to see them this time of year, were daffodil bulbs or buds poking up. I was saying to Luke that the seasons are readjusting themselves because 5-6 years ago, yeah, daffodils coming up in December. Anyway, I have nutted and I have waffled and I've probably talked your ear off. I'm going to get back to my rib. I'm finishing off my hat and I will talk to you again tomorrow. So take care. Hope you're doing well and stay crafty. Bye for now.